Nowadays, people would drape their life on Gadget. It feels incomplete without playing your Gadget, right? Well, nowadays, no one can play Gadget. Not only adults, but also children. Even they have their own Gadget.
Actually, I have a question in my mind. If I see children wearing a thick glasses and they still playing with their gadget and their parents look like don't even care. They just think if they give their children gadget, they will keep calm and not disturbing them without thinking of the consequence.
Now, can we look at children that is playing outside and having a lot of physical activities together? Does anyone know about Kasti, Apollo, Chongkla, or Engklek that kids in the 80s and 90s era played? I don't think many of the 4.0 generations know about these games.
Recently, we hardly see people talk to each other more often face to face. Can we look at a teenager doing a research in the library and scoring through the plethora of papers, books, and etc.? It's a rare moment, right? Now, children playing outside with gadgets in their hands and shout to shoot the enemy.
Although they're in the same room but there's no interaction, it is often now to see people talk through telephone or FaceTime. Now, teenagers do their research on the internet and boom, their answer is instantly there without bothering to work hard or checking just one book. Life goes easier with Gadget. But what happened if we overuse the Gadget?
Last time, I read an article about something that shocked me. It's not about the comeback of K-pop or the concert of my favorite idol. Things that shocked me is that first, it's happening in solo, and second, I read the teenager that diagnosed with gadget addiction increasing this year in lunatic asylum Dr. Arif Zainuddin Surakarta.
The leader of mental health kids and teenagers, Alia Himawati, said that this case have been happening since 3 years ago. But this year, 1 to 2 teenagers get treatment every day to the hospital. It's a phenomenon with alert mode for us.
Okay, before we go further, do you agree that gadget makes our life easier? Yes, indeed. That's the function of technology to make our life easier. But have you ever think the effect of overusing gadget? Gadget addiction. Yes, gadget addiction. So let us tell you what is gadget addiction.
Well, gadget addiction is the use or abuse of gadgets so much that it starts negatively influencing our life and health as a whole. Oxford researchers said that gadgets are still good for us if we use it in a normal time. They researched if we use it more than 4 hours, 17 minutes a day specifically, it will start to interfere with brain performances.
It means that if you use your phone more than that time, you will get overdose and you will get the symptoms of gadget addiction.
And their emotions are usually uncontrollable, aggressive when their gadget is taken. They are going crazy because they don't have access to their gadget.
Now, I want to know, are you and also we are addicted to gadget? So I want to ask you, how do you feel when you misplace your phone? Do you feel panic, desperate, sick, or relief?
Or do you always make sure that your phone is already on your bag if there's an accident or a rare moment and you can show off what you're doing now? Well, if that's what you do, you're in gadget addiction.
Okay, now let's get to the main topic, the addiction itself. But before we go deeper, like the symptoms, the solution, and etc., we need to know why. Why and how this is happening. What caused this? Well, one of the reasons is boredom.
This affects someone that doesn't have anything to do, no activities, nothing. And because of this, the user used their gadget to entertain themselves.
They could easily get carried away if there's no one warning them to stop using their gadget. They could go up to 6 hours of using without them realizing. This is the general cause why this is happening. And the worst of all is because this affects kids.
One of it is actually about their parent relying too much on gadget. For example, when kids are crying. When kids are crying, parents would probably give their phone to make them calm down. And well, this isn't a good and effective way to make your kids stop crying.
But not. It's just camouflage. I repeat it one more time. Things that you do is one step ahead to gadget addiction.
And how is this related to gadget addiction, you might ask? Well, if parents give phones to kids and just ignore them, that means they don't give their children limited time, and this will affect their behavior. They will start to ignore themselves and focus only on the gadget. They will have less interaction to the world, and we can say that they will be busy with their own world and forgetting the real world.
The prominent symptoms which really need to be aware of. The first one is lack of concentration, attention, and focus. Though people say that it is a good thing to get concentration, like they say it's not always a problem since playing games can actually increase kids' concentration, attention, and focus. Games like shooter games can increase concentration since they really need to be aware for their enemies. In addition, it will give more severe like headache, eye problems, and backache.
Headache and eye problem is when the people sees the monitor. The monitor produces blue light that is not good when looking at it for too long. And the backache is when the user uses the gadget. If the user is not in good position, it could give them a backache. The next thing is that stress, anxiety, and communication disorder. Stress and anxiety can cause physical and physiological problems because these are emotions very uncontrollable.
For example, you might be more sensitive and could easily get mad. And this leads to another problem. Get mad can make the user physically abusive to their gadget and even people around them. When people get mad, they become stressed and causing very aggressive results like to punch their monitor or the screen of their gadget.
The thing I mentioned was communication disorder. And this actually relates to another thing that Tatjana mentioned earlier too, and that is lack of concentration. This really affects how the user communicates outside of their gadget. And another thing is when they get very aggressive.
And that is when their gadgets are confiscated because they would do something dangerous like pulling out a weapon or bite the person who took their gadget because they will do anything so that they can play or use their gadget. That's all the symptoms we got for you. Now, moving on to the next one. Who's the patient?
Well, the patient I'm talking about is they who sadly got the disease that is gadget addiction. And this happened to the teenagers when they're at their most productive age, or even to kids who still know explore the world.
The cause of this disease is mostly because they know gadget too early before they know how to control themselves. When should they stop? Whenever it gives them troubles.
Now the technology has grown so fast, and this makes kids curious of what gadget is, because they probably see it in TV commercials, their everyday life, and their parents probably have gadgets too. And this makes kids curious of what this is.
Because kids want to play with it more because they can watch funny videos on YouTube and even start to enjoy playing games. The worst about all of this is because it's happening all around the world. And over the past year, the number of gadget addicts has grown by 123%.
In March 2013, the number of gadget addicts was 79 million addicts. And by the same time this year, it was 176 million addicts. So it is the alarming rate of increase for us. No wonder, if we don't control it, there would be a gadget addict in every household very soon. And the worst of all, that this affects children and the youth, starting from communication modes to gaming apps. They use anything and everything on a daily basis.
So we have already talked about the symptoms and the passions. Now let's get to the solution. The first one is keep the use of gadget and mobile phone and to its minimum. Use it only when it is necessary. Don't use it too much because there's a lot of things you can do in this world, So just go and explore.
The second one is to prevent your children from getting addicted, is to not give gadget to your children at a very early age. So how do you do this? Well, if your kids want to play with your phone, just say, "Sorry, sweetie, but you're not old enough to use this. Maybe when you're older." And when they cry, make a solution to make them calm down. It's better than getting addicted, right?
The third one is related to the second one. When your children have nothing to do, they crave for gadget. Sometimes, parents use gadget to pacify their children. And I tell you, This is not right. Ask them to play outside, read a book, or having an outdoor activities together. This will bond the relationship between children and parents and reduce the use of gadget.
The fourth one is to not use gadget in front of your children or when you to let your children use gadget for them to see or explore. It should be completely done under your supervision because if not, they could use your phone for a very long time.
The fifth one is have a gadget timeout session in your house where no one use it until and unless it's urgent. This is a good way to teach your children time management too, so that they don't spend a lot of their time with their gadget without them realizing.
The sixth and the final one, if it gets out of control, take a professional help for gadget addiction if it gets out of control. Or just take them to a physiology doctor. That's all the solution we got for you.
You might be asking yourself, when will this disease stop? And the answer is never. This will just go on generations to generations.
And the number of people getting addicted increases. Or it's the other way around, because technology getting smarter and better every day. We will just never know.
I'm Tatjana.
And I'm Naufal.
Be a smart gadget user and you'll save your future. Thank you.